Hey guys, okay, so in the last lecture I introduced you guys to some technical indicators. Now, you're all probably wondering how they work and, when to use them. And so if you guys are going to go ahead and test some of the indicators out, what I always suggest you do is do some back testing and some simulating before actually making any real trades. Now, how exactly do you back test or do you simulate? It's a good question. Well, what I always recommend doing is adding one of the indicators to your screen. So for example, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and actually delete the momentum. So let's just say we have the RSI on the screen. Okay, now if you want to learn how to use RSI, there's lots of videos out there, but you can also just do your own simulations and backtesting and see for yourself. Instead of listening to someone else tell you how to use it, you can just make your own tests and see on your own. So what I recommend doing is just removing the candlesticks on screen and just focusing on the one indicator that you are trying to use. Okay, now if you were to just use, for example, RSI to place trades, how would you use it? When would you place trades? Where do you see entry points? For example, say you decided you wanted to only make trades when RSI came back above 30. So you would place a trade here. Let's just go ahead and insert. Let's just go ahead and insert a rectangle right here. So I would place a trade here. Let's just do this again. So where else? Well, anytime it crossed over 30. Well, like when it came back above 30 is what I mean, excuse me. Okay, so there and there. Now, if I were to place trades at both of those places, now what I can do is I can then bring down the candlesticks and see, and I can use the crosshairs here to see what would have happened. So if I placed the trade there, would I have been in a profitable position at some point? Right? Again, same thing. So at 30, if I place the trade there, how did the trade work out? So you can just go back in time, and this is a good exercise to just go back in time and try to spot places and areas where you might be interested in executing some trades. Okay, and then just jump forward. You can just press the right arrow key on your keyboard, and you can move forward in the present time and see how the trades would have worked out. Okay, so that's a good way to simulate. Just go back in time, and practice. Just pressing the right arrow key on your keyboard to see what would have happened. So for example, let's just try this one more time. So say for example, I'm only interested in going short once RSI hits 70. So if I went short there, there was a small little hiccup, and then we started to fall down, and so on. So then, you also have to ask yourself, where should I place my first targets? All of this stuff I'm going over in the advanced course. So be sure to enroll in the advanced course. It is still in production right now, but it will be released soon. Always check back on Udemy to see for the official release date. Okay, so that's it for simulations and backtesting.